What's it like, man? Full off season. Now you get a full training camp. You get the roster. Like, what's it like for you right now?
It's just like it's a lot, but it kind of you kind of put it in pieces because like there's a part of it that I still don't really know because like I was first in all these different things. Like we were hiring the staff, so it will be different next season. Once the staff is set, it'll probably be smoother. We are hiring the staff, then you got to get them in and terminology and start to jive together and work on the floor together and all these different things. Then going to Chicago with Scotty and BJ in the draft process and watching how that worked. There's a lot of different aspects to it that it's kind of just been a blur, but we find ourselves at this point ready to go.
Describe that relationship between you, Scott, BJ. What's that working relationship like?
The word that I'd use is a blessing, man. I'll be honest with you. Those guys have been spectacular. Scotty P came in and laid down the 6 tenets. And, we talked about when I first heard his first press conference, I was doing something. So I'm listening and I'm working. And I was like, man, that sounds a lot like what I would say.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Like, damn, okay, I like that. Please hire me. That's what I was thinking. And then met BJ. Obviously played against him as a player, but got to meet him, and they've been blessings, man. Like a lot of information, taking me to a lot of different things to make sure that I'm understanding all the different aspects of this job, and not only my job, what they do, what the front office does, what the scouts do, all these different things. Because sometimes you think like they ain't up there working.
Right.
No, they really working.
They putting in.
No,
work.
they putting in work.
Okay. Do you think, and you've been around the league, you've seen successful organizations, do you think the front office and coach have to be aligned in terms of moving in the same direction?
Absolutely. I think, diversity of thought, unity of purpose and direction. Okay, like can we have different? Yeah, that's it. But there has to be an alignment, and that is it's a beautiful thing when that happens. And like what I said to the guys and what I've said to Scotty, this is what the beginning of excellence looks like. Because you got to start someplace. You don't just come and then all of a sudden there's excellence. You got to start, and this is what the beginning of that looks like. And that's a good feel because being in line, it's a lot smooth to go through those bumps and those different things, knowing that you're locking step.
Yeah. How would you describe the roster and the construction of it right now?
Well, first and foremost, we needed a point guard. So, check. Identified my guy, went and got my guy. An incredible draft. I really like Neek, Max, Dylan. We brought in Plowden and Isaiah. But, listen, there's always tweaks and different things that you do. But when you talk about 40% shooting, you got 40% shooters out there. You got 6 men of the year in Malik. You got a bona fide Hall of Fame scorer, go-to guy in DeMar. And then you got probably one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic big man in the NBA that can do a lot of different things on the court. So there are a lot of positives when you think about like how does it look and how does it work. You got to get out there and do that because there are certain aspects of people's game that they worked on this summer, and they're going to shine in ways that we didn't anticipate. They're going to be a second unit, and that second unit might create an identity of its own, and that's my plan, that they punch people when they come in the game. So there's a lot of different things. So when you look at it, you can find holes in any roster, man. This is what we do. But at the same time, we don't know some of those things until we hit the court and find out.
How do you look at the challenge from your position of putting everybody, all these puzzle pieces together in the best possible way to succeed?
Relying on their strengths, playing to their strengths, understanding that success for us is about identity this year. When we are done, our identity must be identified. I know what that is, and the byproduct of that identity is winning. We're always looking to win. That's when we step on the court, we're looking to win the ball game. I don't care, preseason, it don't matter, summer league, it don't matter, YMCA. We're looking to win the ball game. But first and foremost, we play to our identity. And if we play to our identity, the byproduct is ultimately winning.
What do you think this season depends on, like hangs on? Is it X's and O's, effort, buy-in, defense? Like, what's the key to this season?
Well, for me, it's defense. It's always defense. I think that defense is the start of everything. As soon as we put the ball in the bucket, and we do, bang, defense starts. How does that look? How are we touching people? 94 feet. We're picking up, we're touching people, and we're making sure that they feel us first and foremost. So for me, everything happens after that. Like, yeah, there's X's and O's and a lot of different things, but the one thing that I do know about our league is I want to teach them how to play, not how to run a play. Because the play breaks down. And when the play breaks down, what are we doing then? So you can have the best X's and O's, and all of a sudden you run into a bona fide defender and he's like, that ain't happening. What are you going to do then?
Right. Two-way players. You were a great two-way player yourself. You preach often about how important is it to have multiple two-way players in today's NBA.
It's huge, especially out front. You got to make sure that we can guard wings. We got to keep the ball in front of us. So that was an identifier with Dennis. Like, you become a better pick and roll defense when you can keep the guy in front of you. But on the wings, Keegan, we got to make sure that he continues to grow. Yeah, I thought he did a marvelous job last season, but those wings are mightily important, and we're pushing up. We're making them feel us. We are a no-paint team. Keep them out of the paint. We don't want the paint. It's not no middle, no paint. Okay. Square them up. We're not giving you any advantage. We want to be square to the ball and make sure that we touch it, folks.
Last one. Why was Dennis your guy? Why was he the perfect fit here?
Well, first and foremost, who I am, I need somebody that I think represents that on the floor. And, I can be a little rough around the edges. So when I see Dennis, I see that he's not scared. He's willing to go the mile. He's willing to pick up 94 feet. He's willing to do whatever he needs to do to win. And first and foremost, that's what we're about. So when we talk about leadership and all those different things, I think he embodies all of that. And he also has a chip on his shoulder. And those type of things, I think for where we're going and what we want to do, he is about as perfect as it gets in my estimation.